So the Kahikili Herbivore Fisheries Management Area was the first of its kind management strategy to basically save a reef by using the fish that do what they do best, eat algae. So this reef was in very serious decline. We had data going back almost 20 years, and over a 15-year period we saw a 50% decline in coral cover, which is really, really fast in the life of a coral. So there was a lot of good evidence for overfishing, depletion of herbivores in the area. There was also good evidence that the types of invasive algae that we were having problems with were preferred edibles by fishes. And it wasn't about closing the refrigerator. It was about saving a reef. So using fish, and Russell went around and talked to the local fishing families and let them know what we were really wanting to do and why we were wanting to do it, and we gained a lot of support from the community, and that really helped. And it's only been 5 years. I've been a part of the monitoring component where we've been doing biannual surveys to look at the fish and habitat and urchins and see how they're doing through time. And we got really lucky at the beginning. We had a couple of large recruitment pulses where we got a lot of baby parrotfishes, and in the data you can actually see them grow up through time within the fisheries management area. So in that time we've seen more than a doubling of our parrotfish biomass. Now we actually have the larger size classes where we didn't have them before, and they're very, very important, not only for scraping algae but also as a reproductive stock. The larger fishes are the reproductive stock, exponentially more eggs and gametes into the water column there. We also have seen about a little over 30% increase in the surgeonfish biomass, which we would expect to be lower because they're much slower growing species and much longer lived. And we're seeing a big increase in crustose coralline algae, which is the type of thing we're hoping to see. It's an indicator of resilience. Crustose coralline algae makes the reef more structurally sound. It also provides chemical cues for baby coral larvae to come and settle, so it's suitable substrate for new life. So we have really early indications, a lot earlier than we anticipated, that things are going well.
We have more than double the biomass of parrotfishes, and we're up over 30% on our surgeonfishes, which are really good signs, as well as the crustose coralline algae. There's hope, there's signs of resilience. We have to take care of land-based stressors if this reef is going to make it.
We really didn't anticipate seeing anything for about a decade because the ecology moves very slowly. It's pure luck that we had those recruitment pulses, because those are not understood at all, not at all. And coral's response to this, we don't expect to see any significant changes in the coral cover for a decade or more, 20 years maybe. This fisheries management area is quite small. It encompasses a couple miles max. And so it ranges from the south end of Cape Ka'a Point, better known as Black Rock, over by the Sheraton, all the way up to the southern end of Honokowai Park, which is just north of Honokowai Point. And so there's a lot of reef structure in there, and on each end there's what we're calling a buffer zone. On the southern end you have a lot of sand, and on the northern end you have a lot of pavement. And so the fish that recruit to this area have really high site fidelity and will most likely stay there instead of traveling off to other reefs. In 2011, the U.S. Coral Reef Task Force designated West Maui as one of the priority watersheds for the Pacific, directedly so that what happens on land can be focused on the health of the reefs, because a lot of what's happening on the land is impacting our reefs. We have a lot of point and non-point source pollution in the form of everything from wastewater to sedimentation to what's in those sediments. So this particular reef at Kahikili, where we had the fisheries management area, where the Hawaii Coral Program had focused a lot of their energies and chosen it as a priority site, where we already had a lot of partnerships building and a lot of synergy and efforts for success. So the watershed was chosen specifically to help turn the tide on reef decline. There are a number of factors, and teasing them apart in any area is challenging, right? So this particular area has very prominent wastewater seeps within the reef and reef framework. There was evidence of overfishing based on our fish populations in the area compared to areas that are not fished. It's a easy access site. You know, it's very user friendly, there's a lot of use there. But mainly, we were able to see, because we had long-term coral monitoring data through the CRAMP program, which is the Coral Reef Monitoring and Assessment Program. We were able to see changes over time, and significantly, we had lost 50% of the coral at that site. But there were a lot of factors there that said we could have success here. Like, there's a lot of reef structure, so it can still support fish life. So if we can turn this around, and there's a lot of good indications we can, then we should try it. It needs it now. Let's do it now. So there was a lot of factors that made this the ideal site.